I recently replayed the Uncharted franchise on stream, and in today's video, I'm going to rank the games. That's tight. I'm gonna take a bite of this Oreo. Uncharted Drake's Fortune, The Search for El Dorado. Uncharted 1 is rough around the edges, but I think it nails characters and the set pieces are good. The core shooting and puzzle solving are fine, but what stuck out while replaying the game is that a character like Sully, for example, who's my favorite, makes so much of an impact with the screen time he's given across all the games that I actually thought he was in the games much more than he is. Nate is a lovable goof, and Elena is relatable to me on a personal level because she has no content. The only characters I don't care for are the enemies, and unfortunately, that's a running theme in the series. Still, at a brisk 8 hours long, this game introduced us to these memorable characters and reminded us that nothing good happens in, on, or around a boat. I still recommend it, but I'm going to have to place Uncharted 1 in C tier. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, Shambhala. Uncharted 2 was a massive jump up from Uncharted 1. The set pieces went up a level and really began to get so ridiculous they were entertaining in a whole new way. Chloe is introduced here and is probably my second favorite character behind Sully. They don't really fix the villain problem in my opinion, but in the same way that the set pieces began to get so ridiculous that it was comical, the resin that is at the center of this game is one of the funniest things to me. Combat is improved in that there are more memorable encounters, such as the battles after the train wreck and fighting off invaders with a tank in a mountaintop village. Not to mention the final boss encounter. Running around in a circle shooting resin might not be the greatest boss battle in history, but as goofy as the resin is, along with the entirety of the final level, the trend of things being a step up from Uncharted 1 was solidified. I say most things because Lazarevich is whatever to me, and I feel like Jeff the cameraman did much more with his screen time in the game. Luckily, we managed to make it out of this game without a boating incident. I'm going to place Uncharted 2 in S tier.
No. My turn to walk away. But admit it, you're gonna miss this ass.
Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. Uncharted 3 is funny to go back to for a couple reasons. I remember thinking it was a good game, but not on the level of Uncharted 2 before I replayed it. What's extra funny looking back is that I think it's the second best Uncharted game to release that year, but more on that later. Let's start with what I liked in Uncharted 3. The set pieces continued to be comical in a good way. I'm talking about moments like the hangar over the desert and the boat. I know, another boating incident, but surely this is the last one. We get some really fun character moments like seeing young Nate meet Sully for the first time. We get to do fun stuff in combat like throw grenades back and hit people with a fish. The puzzles weren't mind-blowing, but they didn't take me out of the experience. Still waiting for that Uncharted spin-off game where our job is to build these puzzles though. The villains of the game were not great, and to this day, I don't know if it's to the point where they come back around and I like them, but there's this weird teasing of mystical shit going on with Talbot, and Marlowe, I think, just wants to find some water in a lost city to get high as hell. We find out Drake isn't Nate's last name, and we lose the ring he's been carrying since he was a child in the ending. We make our way out of a collapsing city, and Nate and Elena decide to rebuild their relationship, which apparently fell apart between Uncharted 2 and 3, so that's nice. I'm going to place Uncharted 3 in B tier.
Thought I'd lost it.
Here's the thing, kid. We don't get to choose how we start in this life. Real greatness, it's what you do with the hand you're dealt.
Hey,
Hey. Going somewhere?
maybe? I'm really sorry about your ring.
It's alright. I swapped it for something better.
Uncharted Golden Abyss. I don't have footage for this one since I had to replay it on my Vita and don't own a Vita TV, so I'm going to keep it short and say that it delivered an authentic Uncharted experience that made fun use of the hardware it was on. That being said, I wish it was ported to PS5 and wasn't stuck on Vita so that more people could play it. Using the rear touchpad, camera, and touchscreen is great and all, but I don't think the game would lose much being brought to console. Other than that, I enjoyed the story, which is a prequel, a lot more than Uncharted 3, which this game released 1 month after in Japan and 3 months in the US. 2 Uncharted games in such a short span is crazy looking back at it. I'm going to place Uncharted Golden Abyss in B tier, just above Uncharted 3. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Uncharted 4 did a lot that I loved. Gameplay was wildly better than it was previously. It felt much better to control Nate in combat. The set pieces reached a level of cartoonishly ridiculous that I did not think was possible, but there was an element of groundedness to them as well. It also did stuff like making stealth a viable and fun option. The puzzles are probably the best in the series. One of the only things I'm not 100% on board with is the story. It was really hard for me to care about Sam for most of the game. I did enjoy the flashbacks with young Nate and Sam though, and by the end I did feel like this was a fitting send-off for Nathan Drake. Still wish this series would stop being so anti-boat though. I'm placing Uncharted 4 in S tier.
Climb back out.
You're dead.
Well, that's not realistic. I would have climbed back out. He should learn to climb. Climbing's always helped me.
Okay, you got it. There you go.
Why is he stealing all this fruit? Foxes do not need fruit.
He's not stealing, he's collecting.
Well, it's not his, and that's called stealing.
Yeah, well, you would know.
What's that?
Nothing.
Talking smack again.
Stay focused. Good, good. There you go.
What? Is that it?
Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. This game was originally going to be DLC for Uncharted 4, and it ended up being better. It retained all the combat and puzzle improvements of 4, improved on the open levels, and they were a blast to explore. The Chloe and Nadine dynamic was fun to watch play out. There weren't any boat incidents in this one. It was the perfect length, and it really packed a punch. This is by far my favorite Uncharted.
I got it. Private collector. Huh? Just hear me out for a second. I understand taking the moral high ground, and that's great. It really is. I am completely on board for that. But if we could just...
Don't ruin the moment.